warm welcome to our election special To The Point, where we follow the top leaders of the country on the campaign trail. This week we are in western Maharashtra following the Maratha strongman, who's popularly addressed by his cadres as Sahib and also addressed as Janta Raja, which in Marathi means someone who knows Maharashtra at the back of his hand. Let's go on a campaign trail with NCP Chief Sharad Pawar this time. A witness to 14 elections, 74-year-old Maratha strongman and NCP Chief Sharad Pawar is not fighting the Lok Sabha elections this time, but is playing the role of a mentor for the party and the cadres. Credited for putting up the most cohesive fight in the last 15 years, Pawar has set aside all the differences. Whether it is putting together poll campaigns or election strategies, the Modi factor has become integral to every party in Maharashtra, which contributes to 48 seats, the second largest after Uttar Pradesh. Sharad Pawar in his election speeches talks about UPA's welfare schemes like RTI, Food Security Act, Manrega and so on, but consciously stays away from targeting Narendra Modi on 2002 Godhra riots. And he also does not forget to mention to the crowd that Gujarat model of development lags far behind as compared to the Maharashtra model of development. Not on record, but parties do admit that Modi is a factor. But polarization could work to their advantage as Dalits and Muslims will consolidate in rural Maharashtra. The Congress NCP combined hopes to counter the Modi wave with caste, community and Muslim Dalit polarization. Mr. Pawar, welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. It's our honor to get you on the campaign trail. Sir, first tell me, is this the toughest election for NCP so far, since the time NCP has been in the electoral fray?
No, I don't think that is the toughest election. In fact, you see, I have seen, I think, 14 elections I myself contested.
Okay.
This is the 15th election which I am directly involved.
Okay.
The toughest election which I have seen in 1977.
Okay.
That was after emergency.
So when I say toughest, I mean that you are not fighting the Lok Sabha elections, and there's a lot of curiosity over the fact that why Mr. Pawar is not fighting an election from Mada this time.
Two reasons. Once I contested 14 elections.
Okay.
And I continue, each and every election I have succeeded, and the entire credit goes to my voters.
Okay.
So I think now after I have reached to 74, and our Indian Constitution has provided Rajya Sabha, which is known to be Elder's House. Now I think at the age of 74, I have right to claim me as an elder.
So basically what you're saying, sir, is that you want to devote more time to the party, to the organizational upgradation. That is the main reason.
That's it, because I spent a lot of years in government, in the state and national level. And that's why I think it is my duty now to encourage younger leadership, build party.
Because we are talking to a number of people, and at many places, you know, the NCP cadre is not happy with the fact that you're not fighting a Lok Sabha election.
No, initially, in fact, my decision was not to contest, not to go to Lok Sabha or Rajya Sabha.
Okay.
Ultimately, I accepted Rajya Sabha because of insistence of my rank and file, my colleagues.
But sir, as a party, what is the biggest challenge which NCP is facing in 2014? Because we have seen that NCP has emerged as the strongest and a party which has a strong firm hold on the state. And in this kind of a scenario, when you have an ally as Congress, don't you think that there is a lot of insecurity amongst the Congress workers as well?
I don't think so. In fact, this election, I am observing everywhere, because we have Congress party leadership and myself, we are working together. And this is not only at my level, but even in the district level to village level. There is an excellent coordination and cooperation between two parties, cadre, and they have full confidence on each another.
So just a few days back in the Konkan region, from where Nilesh Rane is being fielded, Narayan Rane's son, we saw that NCP workers are not wanting to work for that candidate.
That is the only, that's why I said very few places, that is the only one constituency where there is some problem. And the problems are not today, these problems are there from last 3-4 years continuously.
But sir, are you not worried with the opinion polls and the projections which are coming up, saying that NDA is going to come to power, there is a Narendra Modi wave in the country? Are you really convinced of the opinion polls, what they are saying?
I don't know what I say. I said that I have contested many elections, so when I contested 14 elections, so I should know something about election.
Certainly.
And I address hundreds of meetings in every election, so I can judge from the faces of the people. I recollect in 2004 similar situation I was reading, India shining, good, what is that, feel good atmosphere, and Vajpayee Saab was the Prime Minister. And whole country's media, all television, everywhere are saying.
But sir, the way the whole Modi brand has been erected for the party, and everybody is just talking about Narendra Modi, that one man around which the entire BJP has put its energy.
Certainly, entire BJP, because they have projected himself, they will say that only. Or they have concentrated big way in the media. Media, both print and electronic.
But sir, when you say
and
that...
secondly, in media also, regional media also. But continuously projecting one man, people doesn't accept this,
but
because ultimately they have to see the result. They want a leadership which can give them confidence.
But sir, when you say that you're not convinced of the poll projections, you're talking about your state, Maharashtra, or you're talking about at the central level?
I'm talking about country as a whole.
Okay, so you mean to say that the UPA 3 will come back to power?
You see, I can say one thing. You see, my own assessment, it is difficult to say, or it is difficult to accept that Mr. Modi will take reins of the country.
Okay.
And people will hand over these reins to the country to him. I don't think that. I don't say that Congress party or BJP or anybody will clear-cut majority. And they will be able to form government in their own strength. But I can definitely say that there are regional forces who will get good numbers, and when question comes to support somebody to rule the country, many regional parties and their heads will never touch BJP or Mr. Modi. Now take the case of West Bengal.
But sir, what I'm given to understand is that you're pointing at a third front, or a force or a front where, if in case the Congress and the BJP alliance don't work, then you're seeing a possible formation of a possible third front, right?
You see, there's no, as on today, there's no third front. But there is every possibility in such situation. Like-minded parties, secular parties, they may come together. What happened in 2004, there was not clear-cut majority.
But so you have been with UPA for the last so many years. When you see the track record of UPA 1 and UPA 2, which tenure has been more satisfying for you as a minister?
Both.
Okay.
Both, because in fact I was dealing one particular subject. In first 5 years we have prepared the detailed groundwork, and second phase or second tenure we got the results. Now today India is a major player in international grain market. India is a country which has taken a bold decision to introduce a full security.
So, but don't you think that corruption somewhere was a point which has marred the image of UPA?
You see, as I said, I have contested 14 elections. Every election, two issues are always raised. One, rising price essential commodities prices, and secondly, corruption. These type of issues are on a number of occasions. There are many allegations, wild allegations. In this country, there are wild allegations, and which ultimately doesn't prove anything.
Do you really feel that media has been unfair for UPA?
I don't say that's unfair, but I am very unhappy about one thing. See, now media has become manageable.
When I'm talking about the achievements of Congress government, not many ministers have come and defensively and aggressively they have tried to communicate the achievements of the party. Do you agree with that?
I am a senior minister in government. In every meeting, I aggressively put before the public what is the achievement in agriculture ministry,
Okay.
Well, what is our position in full, sir?
So coming to the Rahul Gandhi experiment of primaries, a number of primaries were conducted here in Maharashtra as well. We saw constituencies like Latur and all going to and going and experiencing this whole primaries experiment. Do you really feel that this kind of a formula is workable in current political scenario in the country? Because there have been a lot of voices which have been raised against the experiment as well.
That I don't know, but in my political party, I will prefer to consult my colleagues at village level, grassroots level, tertiary level, block level, and we'll take a collective decision whom to select and whom to give opportunity.
So in the past 2 months, there were stories that probably you have tried to meet Narendra Modi and you did meet. Then, those reports were discounted. Then we had statements coming from...
No, but I met Narendra Modi a number of times. May not be last time.
Okay.
I meet every chief minister. I have to deal every chief minister being agriculture minister.
Okay.
And this is an important subject for every chief minister. So he has to keep excellent rapport with the chief minister.
Okay.
Nothing wrong. You see, when I sit in the chair of the chief minister, I do recollect that I have taken oath that I will give equal treatment to everybody. If suppose Narendra Modi state has some problem and I am in the chair of the government of India, it is my responsibility to support that state because people belong to my country.
But so when you say that you met Narendra Modi and on a number of occasions you met, so you mean to say that the High Command, I'm talking about Sonia Gandhi and other Congress leaders, didn't have a problem NCP sharing dais with Narendra Modi or you meeting Narendra Modi? Because there's a whole lot of perception is there that, okay, Mr. Sharad Pawar is meeting BJP and there are signs he's making overtures to Modi that he might be wanting to join BJP.
In chief ministers meeting, we are meeting all the chief ministers.
Right.
We sit together, we eat together, we have breakfast together, whether he will be in my table or he will be in Kapil Sibal's table or whether he will be in the Prime Minister's table. You see, in government, how you are going to act and function in government is one thing.
Right.
And when question comes of political understanding, the situation is altogether different.
But sir, there's a lot of confusing signals also coming from NCP because Praful Patel and Supriya Sule both in the past have said that Narendra Modi has, the court of law has given his judgment, he's acquitted and you cannot associate himself with that carnage. Do you also agree with that fact?
It's not started with Mr. Praful Patel or Supriya Sule, it started with me.
Okay.
When the court has given that judgment, one journalist asked me,
Okay.
what is your reaction about the judgment? What do you want to say about judgment? I said, it's a verdict of the judiciary. And I respect the verdict of the judiciary. I will never comment on the verdict of the judiciary.
Okay.
So, is
But
it
the
not
media
correct?
tried to misread it.
Definitely, is it not correct thing? Do you think that we should make a comment on judgment of the judiciary?
Okay.
Suppose we don't agree, we have every right to go to High Court. But that type of reaction, which was given by me.
But sir, the opposition will also perceive it as an overture to Modi. That okay,
No,
you have your cards open and you might...
Is it not factually correct that court has said something?
No, of course it's a fact.
No, if it is a fact, is it a wrong thing to tell fact?
No, sir, it's not wrong to say facts, but then in politics it's all about perception. It's perceived as something else.
Anyway, those who doesn't understand this, I don't say that I should take more time.
Sir, coming to the farmers' distress, especially in the Vidarbha region, we've seen a lot of farmer suicides. And people after people, parties like MNS, Shiv Sena, BJP, all have been blaming you and your alliance with Congress as the main reason for not catering to the whims of the farmers and not providing them enough
last
relief.
15 years they are saying this, but every time, ultimately in election people, voters, farmers have rejected them because they know what we are doing. I should not say the maximum decision favorable to farming community was taken by us, and that is the reason why India has become a major producer of food grains.
But so
and many
despite
other
the
things.
big packages and the compensation
you see-
packages and the relief packages which are given to the farmers,
They-
there is always disgruntlement among them that they have not received enough. Why is that so?
That I can't say that because it is up to the local level administration. It's not that. Government has provided substantial financial support.
Our conversation with Mr. Sharad Pawar continues. He's just got down for another rally. On an average, Pawar addresses 8 to 9 rallies a day. His ears firmly to the ground, be it Maharashtra or Delhi, he is one unifying force in NCP. Sharad Pawar, whose party won 8 seats in 2009 elections, is hoping to improve its tally to at least 15 so that his political relevance in Delhi improves. Though not in the fray, but Pawar has still not given up his dream of becoming the Prime Minister. A man who doesn't give up easily, it won't be surprising if he joins NDA in the post-poll scenario. Till then, all eyes would be on what happens post-16th May. So you were saying that now you're going to devote much time to the expansion of the party and building the second rung leadership. But don't you think that when you are not at the, I mean, of course, you're going to be guiding everything. You're going to be the guiding force of NCP. But when it comes to anointment, whom are you really going to anoint as the party chief?
No, I'm not going to anoint. Party will decide. It's a democratic party. We'll sit together and we'll take a collective decision. Ultimately, we have a lot of youngsters who are capable, who can deliver the goods. And they are men, women, both. And that's why we are absolutely clear that there is no dearth of capable youngsters who can take responsibility on their shoulders. But their selection will not be by individual. Ultimately, whole party will sit, important decision-making authority of the party will sit, and they will come to conclusion. And they will select, and I'm confident there should not be any problem.
So, sir, you mean to say that nobody from the family, when I say family, either Supriya or Ajit Dada, they are not going to be there at the helm of affairs?
Can't say. Just because they are family members, that's why we will not accept that concept.
What is that one tally you are actually looking at for this election?
This election, our assessment is that will definitely improve our tally. As on today, out of 21, there are at least 15 constituencies are such where NCP candidates are performing very well.
Okay.
Ultimately, result people will decide.
So, which means that NCP is going to form an important force at the centre.
That is, I'm saying Maharashtra.
Okay.
Outside Maharashtra, there are 3-4 constituencies are such where NCP candidates are doing very well.
Is it the political relevance of NCP increases in the wake of what you're telling us?
You see,
at the centre?
At the centre, we are part of UPA.
Okay.
NCP and Congress are working together. As I said, the last 10 years at national level and 15 years state level, we would like to continue that. And in that situation, whatever number will be with us, that number will be part of UPA led by Congress party.
So you are not looking at a possibility at all where you won't be a part of UPA, not at least at the moment?
No, I don't understand. I said that we are part of UPA and we would like to continue. You see, basically our association with Congress.
Okay.
And we would like to continue that.
Okay. But supposing if Congress doesn't come to power, then?
We will sit in opposition. What is this? In democracy, if the people of India have decided that we should sit in opposition, we'll sit. We will work collectively.
But you will never align with parties like BJP?
No, where is the question? When we are part of alliance, when we are telling in every public meeting that Congress and we are together and we are asking vote, I am asking vote for Congress today, just now meeting. I am addressing for Congress candidate.
Right.
So when I am addressing for Congress candidate, so where is the question of going with any other person? What people will think? What will be our credibility?
So NCP has been the most trustworthy partner of UPA so far. But building a trustworthy relationship with a party like Congress, how difficult or how challenging, I would rather say, has it been? Because, we've seen irrigation scams and all coming, accusations being hurled by the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Prithviraj Chavan, had initiated inquiries against Ajit Pawar. So in these kind of scenarios, though that chapter is closed already, but in this kind of a scenario, how challenging is it for you to keep the relationship intact?
This allegation was started by BJP leaders.
Okay.
Mr. Ajit Pawar himself came in forward and he said, I'm ready to step down. let government appoint any.
So you mean to say the BJP was trying to bring a mistrust between Congress and NCP?
No, they are, you see, that is their job. They are sitting in opposition. So they are acting like that.
But so Prithviraj
Nothing
Chavan
wrong.
had initiated an inquiry against Ajit Pawar.
Yeah, the allegation was made by some BJP leaders. Mr. Ajit Pawar himself came in forward. He requested Chief Minister, you appoint inquiry.
Okay.
You institute inquiry. Name of the person who has been headed inquiry was Mr. Chittare, who was a former Secretary Irrigation Government of India, an internationally known person in irrigation sector. What was the allegation? 72,000 crores allegation was there, scam.
Okay.
The total investment was 50%. It was not even 50% of 72,000 crores.
Okay.
But allegation was made. Now its inquiry report has come. I don't know the copy. But as my information, the government of Maharashtra, because of the pressure from public at large, Maharashtra is the lowest irrigation percentage in the country. So there is always demand that we should spend more money and take more projects. So we have now situation is in Maharashtra many projects were taken and budgetary position was not sufficient. That's why projects were delayed and then cost was escalated.
Okay.
So these type of things. But here Congress has done or CM has done, that is not correct. That is not factual position. These type of allegations are making. There's no true opinion about that. But these issues were raised by some media, some opposition parties and some others.
It's almost going to be 10 p.m. and we are on our way to the last rally. At the back of his mind, Pawar keeps thinking of how to counter the BJP Shiv Sena. He very well knows that smaller regional forces like MNS, PWP, Aam Aadmi Party and Samajwadi Party are at best spoilers for the Congress NCP combined. Caste factor plays an important role in Maharashtra politics. Apart from the Marathas, there are many OBC subcastes like the Dhangars, the Telis, the Sutars who've turned the electoral tables in regions like Vidarbha and Konkan. So you don't agree at all that there has never been an instance of a trust deficit between Congress and NCP? Because of late, we heard NCP leaders also talking about the fact that of late when elections and the campaigning has started, this is the time when actually Congress and NCP have come together as a formidable alliance and now they are working towards bringing the force to power.
We have perfect understanding. In local self-government, every party can take their own decision. And at state and national level, both parties will come together and will fight. Parties like MNS and Shiv Sena, people are generally saying, I mean, looking at the way their agenda is, their brand of politics, the way in which they are practicing their politics, do you think that they're almost a finished party at the moment? I don't think they are a finished party. You see, Shiv Sena has definitely said. Bala-Saheb Thackeray was one of the leaders who was quite popular among the younger generation. He has developed many leaders who are coming, who has no family background of politics, and he has developed a team of lot of devoted party workers that continues. Uddhav Thackeray is a lucky person that without doing anything, he got father's legacy and committed Carter's legacy. That's why this will continue. Sir, the way people are saying that BJP is having a tacit understanding with the MNS and they are trying to do away with Shiv Sena. What is your assessment? You're such an experienced leader. How do you assess the situation? I really don't know. I haven't got any authentic information about that. But I can say about one thing. I just saw the list of the candidates which MNS has put. They have put the candidate generally where Shiv Sena has a candidate. Exception is one or two, where the BJP candidates are there, MNS candidate is not there. So one last question before we wind up our show. At 74, you are a man who's putting people like us to shame.
with constant rallies, how do you really keep your energy level sustained?
See, I always enjoy if I get opportunity to associate with public at large.
Okay.
That gives me strength.
Okay.
And that improves my stamina also.
Sir, appreciate you joining on Rajya Sabha television for the special program. Wish you all the best, sir.
I have no choice because I become a Rajya Sabha member. So 6 years next, I have to digest this.
So, sir, we'll be regularly corresponding with you now. So, we hope to get many more bites from Mr. Sharad Pawar. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.